More migrants are being bused out of Texas and into other cities across the country. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dr. Nicole Cross. Dallas Police Chief Eddie Garcia ensuring the public that no one else was hurt and no threat remains at Dallas Love Field after shots were fired inside the airport this morning. Along with safety concerns, school districts across the state are also dealing with a significant teacher shortage. There are hundreds of positions still open all across the state and not enough teachers to fill them. Our Ashley Claster shows us how Dallas ISD is raising the stakes to attract more candidates. We can't help it. That's a good groove, right?
That's a nice little. It gets you on beat.
On beat, which is what we are now. Tell them, Jordan. So that's your clue. We're also celebrating Texas musicians. We have been talking to so many great local artists all week long. Who do you have for us today, Jordan?
Well,
South by Southwest is back and in person for the first time since 2019. The Music Fest kicked off today, and that means more than 1,300 artists from all over the world will be playing at more than 30 venues right here in downtown Austin. I am standing here with singer, songwriter, and Texas native Jake Lloyd, who is performing during South by. Thanks for taking this moment to speak with us. Now, describe your music, because I know you blend genres. A little hip hop, a little R&B, a little alternative rock.
Definitely. I would call it real eclectic.
I don't normally do this, but I'd like to give you my microphone if you would bless us with a little something, a little sample, a little daily interlude. Can you do that?
I think I can do that.
Take it away.
Woke up this morning, hating myself. I hated the way I looked, the way I thought, and the way I felt.
Tough, talented, trailblazers. They're Texas women.
Yes, and all summer long, we are celebrating Texas women whose strength, kindness, and influence are unmatched. I recently sat down with the daughter of Lady Bird and President Lyndon B. Johnson. I think about the bond that the two of you share. It's evident. It is a very strong bond. I'm curious to know what it was like growing up, and particularly growing up in the White House. How did you maintain that bond with all of the lights, camera, action, activity around you? It is challenging. There are triggers absolutely everywhere. And everybody is dealing with this in different ways. I am so happy that she opened up to you, because she represents some students in Uvalde who truly are struggling right now. And I know you spoke with others today as well. So many people reaching in to ease the pain after that horrific tragedy in Uvalde, including the Uvalde Coyotes, who've scored 2 major wins already this football season, giving the community something to celebrate. Travis with me now, and Travis, I know you have been following their success every step of the way. Who else is relevant? Our chief meteorologist Burton Fitzsimmons, because he is tracking some important weather news. What do you have to share with us, Burton?
But I gotta say, I love Dolly too.
What's your favorite song?
I was thinking of The Rose for Mom coming up on Mother's Day weekend. Love The Rose.
The Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has tested positive for COVID-19. Well, if you've been avoiding the movies because of high ticket prices, now's the time to head back. Tickets will only be $3 this Saturday on National Cinema Day. Right in the heart of downtown Dallas, some amazing Texas women are spicing things up with free salsa lessons.
Salsa lessons.
All right.
I'm working on my salsa pose.
That's his feet, guys. Thanks as always, Jordan. Good stuff. Thank you for being with us
Get up,
for
bust
this
a move.
hour of Spectrum News 1. You are a veteran journalist with WFAA in Dallas. You have been following politics for decades. I am curious, a very long time. It's interesting because we have millions of Texans who have registered to vote, but in terms of those who have actually voted or those who voted early, that's a fraction of the number of registered voters.
Yeah, you know, again, I say Rio Grande Valley because
You've mentioned the Valley a couple of times. All eyes are on the Valley. It's like it's the epicenter of the midterms right now. Everyone's talking about it. But I really want to understand your thoughts about what's happening in South Texas. It has historically been a blue stronghold, and it appears that that could be loosening quite a bit.
Yeah.
We are hearing more about the role that faith is playing in voters' decisions. Talk more about that. Break that down for us.
Yeah, you know, we traditionally think about the Valley and the Catholic Church, but Latino evangelicals across the Valley have been strongly involved in this particular election cycle.
At this point, it appears that it's not about vote for your party, not even vote for the individual. You are voting for your values.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Republicans and Democrats have really zeroed in on South Texas, putting so much money, you know, towards that area, and also sending so many celebrities and top politicians to that area.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, because
Republicans are touting this red wave that's going to sweep through there, very confident about the midterm elections. Do you think they have reason to be very confident?
Well,
I can't let you get away without talking about former President Donald Trump making an announcement that he's going to make an announcement next week, a week from the midterm elections. What are your thoughts about that? What's the strategy behind that?
Well, he's got some pretty tall competitors in terms of the governor of Florida, how he's going to do tonight, the governor of Texas, how he'll do tonight. So a lot of it will depend on that.
Yeah, to be determined.
Oh, yeah.
In the newsroom now with David DeMatthews. He is an education professor at UT Austin. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. What's your initial reaction as the votes are coming in?
Well,
Beto campaigned on gun safety and making sure that our students are safe at school, but so many other issues are resonating with voters right now in Texas, including the economy and inflation. That seems to be a big sticking point for a lot of voters in polls that we have seen as of late. You are an education expert. You understand the school system. What do you believe needs to happen? What is the detriment if that does not happen? And what does success look like in terms of improving the school environment for students across Texas?
sure. Well, first of all, it's having a high-quality public school teacher in every classroom.
If you were having a conversation with policymakers across Texas, sharing with them best practices for how to improve relations with educators, help them feel valued, and help them be progressive in the classroom, what would you say to them?
Just look at the evidence.
What are your final thoughts as we wrap up our conversation?
I want to be optimistic. You know, I'm a former teacher.
I do hope there is a meeting of the minds and that we have greater collaboration moving forward, no matter what our state leadership looks like.
Yeah.
David DeMatthews with UT Austin, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it greatly. You've received your 4th Grammy nomination, releasing a new album, and getting a star on the Avenue of Paramount Stars in downtown Austin. How are you processing all of that fortune?
You know, I'm still processing. It's a work in process in every way, whether I'm writing and whether I'm receiving the kind of love that I'm getting right now. This is just beautiful. It's awesome.
It's so awesome, and I know you're getting a lot of love from fellow Texans. You're a native Texan. What have you been hearing from Texans and folks all over the country as you tour? I can only imagine what it must be like to be on that stage. You've written a song, you're singing that song, you can see in the audience people are humming and singing along. I can only imagine how that fuels you up to connect with your audience in such a special way.
It time, there ain't no crime to make room for some healing time.
Oh my goodness, that was phenomenal, so fantastic. I couldn't help grooving in my seat. It's healing time. That is so fantastic. Thank you so much, Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter Ruthie Foster, Texan. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate it so much.
Parents at home who are with their kids day in and day out, what can they do to, provide some type of comfort and support to their kids?
First, I do want to acknowledge, that we're all very busy. Families are busy, parents are busy. I get it, I'm busy as well. But it is important to take a beat, to take a moment, to take time to simply ask your child, are you all right? I did it just last night with my son. I'm like, are you good? He's 12 years old. There's a lot that's going on. I do think we need to take a moment from our busy lives and check in with our loved ones, because you never know what people are going through.
And it's so important for kids because they might not be able to, express themselves. And so you just said a simple checkup of how are you can be so helpful.
Because they may not initiate, but if you ask the question and if you ask it sincerely, checking in with them, then they'll open up, especially if you are watching a television show with them, playing a video game with them, and you just ask, how's it going? How are you doing? What would you like to see different on a scale of 1 to 10? How are things in your life? I really care about you. That could be exactly what they need to start talking about what they're feeling, what they're dealing with on the inside.